KAWAZU was determined to become a master of sword fighting, ultimately to become the best. He made inquiries about famous schools and teachers, and finally decided to ask Master Ki to teach him the art of sword fighting. Master Ki was in a good mood, and he accepted the new pupil without any further ado. In the remote monastery, to KAWAZU's surprise, he was immediately assigned to the kitchen to wash dishes. Months went by, without KAWAZU so much as holding a sword, never mind being taught to fight. He became impatient and asked to speak to Master Ki. "See him at 4 o'clock in the morning," replied the master's assistant. Standing outside in the freezing cold, a steaming hot cup of tea warming his hands, KAWAZU politely questioned the master, "Master Ki, with all due respect, have you forgotten about my desire to learn the art of sword fighting to become the best fighter in the country?" "I have not forgotten. I assure you all is going according to plan. You should not ask more questions, KAWAZU, but instead continue with your training." KAWAZU wanted to protest, but contained himself, being aware of Master Ki's unquestioned nationwide reputation. 2 more years came and went. KAWAZU was incensed. He felt abused and humiliated, having to wash dishes day after day instead of receiving instructions in sword fighting. He decided he had enough. He went to Master again, and this time he was not polite. Swearing and shouting, he accused the master again. "I'm fed up," he shouted. "I'm done here." Master Ki compassionately smiled at him. "Only 3 more weeks, and you shall be ready." KAWAZU gritted his teeth, but agreed to wait another 3 weeks. That night, Master Ki crept to KAWAZU's sleeping cell, opened the door silently, and with an ear-splitting "Kill!" he leaped at the sleeping KAWAZU and then disappeared in light speed as quickly as he arrived. KAWAZU lay wide awake, his body shaking uncontrollably. The next day at noon, he was absent-mindedly sitting on the toilet. The door flew open. Master Ki stormed in and hit him across the shoulders with a cane. Before he could make a move, Master Ki was already gone again. Poor KAWAZU had barely recovered from the shock when Master Ki waylaid him again, attacking him in the kitchen as he washed dishes. This carried on and on, with Master Ki appearing to beat KAWAZU exactly then when he least expected it. But with every beating, KAWAZU became more and more awake and alert. He developed his reactions. Before the end of the 2nd week, KAWAZU was in a state of permanent alertness. He knew Master Ki would hit him any second from any direction in any situation. "Kill! Kill!" He had no more time for dreaming or absent-mindedness. Being conscious of the imminent infliction of pain and that the ultimate fight will be one of life and death, kept KAWAZU in highest levels of alertness. But there was still more to learn. KAWAZU tried to remain awake all night, knowing that it was Master Ki's favorite game to leap onto him with that horrific roar while he was sleeping. However, the body needs its sleep, and soon KAWAZU succumbed. Master Ki did not let that opportunity slip by. "Kill! Nah!" All KAWAZU could do now was to learn the art of being alert during sleep. The body rests, the mind dreams, but awareness is awake. During the last few days, Of those 2 weeks, Master KAWAZU spent every moment consciously anticipating his master's attack. His reactions had become as fast as lightning. Every pore, every cell, molecule of his body was prepared at any time for that moment when the beating would strike. After the 3rd week, Master Key started KAWAZU's instructions in sword fighting. He needed only 3 days to learn the skills of handling the sword. Thereafter, within 4 weeks, he had become the best fighter in the monastery, and that same year, KAWAZU won the National Samurai Championships. He eventually became one of the most renowned warriors of his time. That's the meaning of 24/7 alertness. Master Key is your mind, is your identity. It's just disguised. Every time you doze off in your awareness, it hijacks you and takes you for a spin, maybe for a moment, maybe for a day, maybe for a year.